So we're about to do the online portals, and we're starting with myjoyonline.com.
Well, definitely. So we have a number of stories there. You're familiar with Samoajan, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a number of stories on that. But let's start with some politics.
And Hassan Ariaga, right, drives Joy FM listeners home on drive time.
We know that the 2016 presidential candidates of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ariaga, drove home listeners of Joy FM's award-winning drive time program, and that happened the afternoon of yesterday.
He was also giving away free tickets to the Keteka Fever. Did you go?
I didn't go.
You didn't go. Okay. Apparently it was a jam, but he was giving out some few tickets there. Let's go to the next story. And Palmer Buckle laments deepening culture of corruption. The Metropolitan Archbishop of Accra, Charles Palmer Buckle, says corruption is rife in the Ghanaian system, urging the prosecution of persons engaged in the act. He was also saying that, corruption is now a culture here in Ghana. And people are just like, oh, he's corrupt, and then, okay, and so what?
Yeah. And it's also because it starts from the community, and perhaps we have a certain socio-cultural predisposed mind of perhaps also not criticizing people, trying to find out how people acquire their wealth, and even if they acquire, we don't really mind. We feel that it's life going on as usual.
And let's go to our next headline, which is this one. What does it say?
Well, it says Asamoah backs upon George Weah in Liberian elections. And we know that the elections have come to a close. The full results are fully expected to be declared by Wednesday. That is the close of today. But we're getting some information that George Weah is in the lead, but even though the turnout was low.
And we have Ghana Prison Service fears possible meningitis outbreak. So they say the Ghana Prison Service has issued an alert to some prisons across the country so as prevent the major factors that trigger meningitis outbreak, and especially because of the heat and the congestion. I mean, if it happens, it's going to be very terrible.
Yeah, it's always a problem in our prisons, especially right here or back home in Ghana. Especially when we know that we don't have the space for them, we have to cram them together. It's a huge problem. Even those in secondary school are having difficulties. How much less those who are inmates in the prisons?
It's very tough. 2017 tweet how Africans fought Western media misreporting via Twitter. That the media is a powerful tool anywhere in the world is without a doubt. I mean, Twitter is a serious thing.
Yes, it is.
Like, we start hashtag something and it goes viral, and it's crazy.
Also because Twitter doesn't allow you to, until recently, post more than 100 and something, 80 characters or something of the sort. So it was fast moving and people needed to make their views very quickly, unlike Facebook where you can type one post at a time and somebody will have to read all the time. That's why you tend to read quickly, and then you don't have the time to make your views known in a long time. So it's just in a short time. So you have to keep tweeting and replying and
reposting.
So that's the excitement of it. Even though Facebook is still the leader as far as the messaging is concerned.
But what happens in Liberia?
Yeah, it says John Dramani Mahama. As you said in the news, Afarijan holding talks with candidates ahead of the crucial rerun. That was yesterday. So that has taken place, or that took place, and now we know the election has ended.
And more on our headlines is sack list category boiling with nominees in My Joy Online Influence Awards. So interesting responses have started pouring in just a day after the My Joy Online Influence Awards 2017 was adored on Monday.
Yeah, well, it's all based on how many numbers of those who visit the portal will be voting, and it's about those perhaps in public office that have done well or have not done well. We hope that the sample size that vote will be representative of people, so to speak, who really listen, watch, and follow the trends as far as the political issues or events are concerned.
And our last headline on My Joy Online is food safety. Reduced to clear is legal. Consumers must check expiry date. This is okay. So the public relations officer of the Food and Drugs Authority says it is completely legal for a retailer to sell to consumers products which are about to expire. That's a very tricky one.
Yes, it is.
It's a very tricky one.
For what they call in marketing fast-moving consumables. It becomes a very difficult thing, because for fast-moving consumer goods, when the expiry date is is up or is almost near, what do? You have to let go quickly into the market. The thing is, if we have consumers hoarding large stocks, that's a difficulty because you may not consume before the expiry date.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And we have to make sure that the FDA and the various regulatory agencies are on hand. They visit the marketing centers where they sell these goods and make sure that by the time that people buy, and then the category of people that buy, they will consume that time. For example, if a school goes to buy such product, the school halts for a long period.
So by the time they use it, it's expired. It's not good for the kids, and very bad experiences
it's a tricky one, like you said. I don't know. Maybe we'll find something lying between that.
Because if I buy
if it's
today,
3 months before the expiry date, what do you do? It's not expired.
It's not expired. But what I'm saying is that if I buy it today and it expires tomorrow, and I want to use it over the weekend.
Well, that's a typical example of when it's expiring and you know that it's near.
Yeah.
But let's say it's 2 months. It's a month.
How often do consumers check the expiry dates? Is another question.
We don't.
You see.
We don't. Yeah.
All right. And top story is MPs raise concern over cuts in budgetary allocation to ministries. Okay. So more stories on my Joy online there.
Well, Tiago, we have some sports stories as well. A lot of more videos, and please make sure that you get interactive. And all these videos have been linked to our channel on YouTube, My Joy Online TV. Go search for the page or the channel on YouTube and watch a lot of these videos.
And we're going to Citi now, and the first headline is Roland.
Alhaji Grunsa, others fume over cattle killings in Agogo. And in Ghana, we've had nomadic cattle farmers or cattle, those who lead cattle, so to speak, whether they are, and all that. Now, these herdsmen usually do not come from Ghana. They're Fulanese. They come from the Sahel regions of Ghana and the desert-like regions of the West African sub-region. Now, they come into Ghana and they look after cattle that belong to even very prominent people, even the chiefs of the local areas. But the cattle are left to graze. Yeah. And they get to destroy farmlands, they evade hamlets or villages, etc. And that incurs the wrath, or has been incurring the wrath of various inhabitants. So we've had clashes between the local inhabitants and these Fulanis, who also contend that sometimes they are attacked by the local inhabitants. It's a very dicey situation. It's almost like just a catch-22 situation. What do? They look after cattle belonging to big people who really don't come out to criticize it, but the local people are criticizing it. So I don't know. I think we need to find a fine line. That's my opinion. Yeah. But it's still a very serious thing as well.
And what happened here, Roland?
Yeah, it says the Sunafo South MP's residents attacked, several cars vandalized, and we're told that this happened over the period, I think over the last 2-3 days. And well, there have been speculations that it's from the other side of the governing party, and this gentleman had been attacked by MPP thugs, etc. But we'll see what the investigators, that's the Ghana Police Service, will come up with ultimately.
And Mahama appeals for peace as Liberians vote in runoff today. Okay.
Well, they voted
yesterday actually. Yeah. And meningitis scared 65 persons under surveillance at
Asaman Kese, and they've been discharged, we're told. Well, the prisons, and then now we have even normal residents. That's a concern for all of us. I guess we have to be scared.
And we need to deal with it fast.
Yeah.
Before an outbreak of some sort.
Definitely. Okay, and we have Imani Ghana. You go up, Imani Ghana is a think tank. It's ranked various ministries, departments, and agencies, and has named the Lands Ministry as the most transparent and the ministry that has done very well, headed by its minister, of course. So it makes a lot of sense to me. They're involved in the Galamsey fight, the fight against illegal mining in that country.
So we're going to go to the BBC homepage. And we say, so the sick evacuated from besieged Damascus area. A group of critically ill children are evacuated from rebel-held eastern Ghouta near Syria's capital. And if you go here to Africa, where it says Liberian choose president and runoff, which happened yesterday. Let's see if we can get more news. Where North Korea missiles markers hit by sanctions. The two men, both key missile developers, are said to be among Kim Jong's most trusted AIDS. All right, interesting here. And snow emergency in U.S. town after huge storm. So a heavy storm brings a record amount of snow to the U.S. city of area, burying homes and cars. What a way to spend your Christmas there. And now we're going to go to the Africa page of the BBC, where Liberians choose president in runoff. The vice president and an ex-footballer are vying to succeed Africa's first elected female president. Okay, let's see if we can get more. This one is a feature and says, I built a hydropower plant for my village. And here is attack fear led to UAE Tanzania plane roar. Let's see. Fears women would commit attacks were reportedly behind a ban on female Tanzanians flying to the UAE. More stories there. So that is all for the online reviews. Up next is sports, but stay tuned because today on AM Business, we look back at the issue of illegal mining or galamsey, which took center stage this year. And we'll also continue our reviews for the year. Our guest today will be Dr. Nana Otto Arthur, and he's the head of local government services. We'll also look at what to eat and what to avoid this festive season. We'll touch on what meals to avoid, especially now that Hamatan is here. So up next is sports.